She probably loved that.
It's all HIPAA, right?
That's what she told me earlier too.
Well, thank you very much, Chief. We appreciate that. And thank you for the moral support that you gave the chief. And now we move on to our beloved Deputy Sheriff. Next on the agenda. Excuse me?
Is that the word?
Yeah.
2 to 5 minutes. That's what he told me over there.
Should have known better, Sean.
Okay. For those of you out there that don't know me, my name is Sean Sanborn. I'm the Deputy Sheriff that covers Waterboro. I'm just going to start out with calls for service, January 2012. January had a drop in calls compared to last year, 256 calls. The town website has been updated with all the calls for service for 2011 as well, and total calls for police-related calls for service in 2011 were 4,267. So that's comparable to the year before. Sex offenders, nothing new. We still have 13 that either work or live here in town. If you want to view those, you can go to Google or Bing and search Maine Sex Offender Registry and view them there, or go to the town website and go under my page, and there should be a selection there that'll link it. While I was writing that up, I remembered an incident we had a couple weeks ago. The Maine Computer Crimes Task Force called and wanted to meet me and have me go with them to a search warrant, residence for a search warrant in South Waterboro. And so I went down there with them, and this was in relation to child pornography. So the Computer Crimes Task Force, they basically monitor certain websites that shouldn't even be in existence. And they found this guy downloading child pornography, so I went down there with him, and we ended up taking several hard drives, and unfortunately for me, I saw some of what he had on there, and it was completely despicable. So that case is going to be going to the York County DA's office for indictment. Hopefully they handle that appropriately. I'm just going to go into securing your homes for the public. I just want to encourage people to secure your things. That deters theft and makes my job easier. It makes your life easier too. If you live here in town, please lock your house. It's all about good habits. Lock your house. Lock your car. Lock anything you have. Secure your things. It's not the good old days anymore. If you can afford it, motion sensor lights are good. A good watchdog is good. Once again, if you can afford it, a security system and motion sensitive cameras are great. Those actually helped me solve a couple burglaries last year. Also, this is pretty important, please talk to your neighbors and get to know your neighbors and watch out for each other, watch each other's houses. I'm just going to talk about parents. I'm no counselor, I'm not a parental counselor, but I do notice a lot of things in my job. And parents, do you know where your children are right now? Do you know the names of your children's friends? Do you know the names of your children's friends' parents? Do you know your children's friends' parents personally? When your children say they're going somewhere, going to a friend's house, do you talk to the parents of these friends and verify what's going on? The point I'm making is many illegal incidents involving teens and children would be averted if every parent was a good spy. And that might sound extreme to some people, but I don't think it is. I think gathering intelligence on your child's life should be a top priority. Related to that, parties, drugs, marijuana, please call us, the Sheriff's Office, with any information about underage drinking and drug use. Since it's winter and the usual outdoor party spots are not in use, and this activity will be held at someone's house where parents are either not home or home, and allowing it to happen. hosting an underage drinking party is a Class D crime, and if we catch you doing that, we will be arresting you and taking you to jail. If you know about an underage drinking party, being in a pit or a house, and you fail to call, your inaction could cause drunk driving, teen drunk driving, fatalities, assaults, sexual assaults, hard drug overdoses. Last winter, I saw a man pinned under a rolled over car up on Middle Road after a teen who had possessed his license about a week had left a underage drinking drug party and with a carload of kids and was tearing up Middle Road. Marijuana, it's still a drug. It's not good for you. It contains more carcinogens than tobacco, and it makes people act silly and foolish. Until it's legal, I'm not going to give many breaks to marijuana users, unless you have permission from your doctor. I really don't want it in our schools. It ends up in the schools, and I don't want it on our streets. Deputy Solomon's already brought a drug dog to the parking lot at least once this year. I assisted him with that, and the dog hit on a few cars, and I think we got marijuana out of one vehicle. Last year it hit on, I don't know, he was going all day though. It was ridiculous. That dog hit on more than 10 vehicles, and more than one vehicle had marijuana in it. This year, not so much. So I think the threat of drug dogs coming to visit the high school has definitely had its effect. And I hope that's going to continue. Actually, I know it's going to continue. A house in my neighborhood was purchased for $60,000 cash. I think it was a foreclosure home in the last few months. Actually, it was about 9 months ago it was purchased, but in the last few months it was turned into a marijuana growing factory. This was next door to a Sanford officer and across the street from a Maine State Trooper, and within walking distance of where I live. So these guys were brilliant. They were from out of state. We ended up doing a search warrant and taking 17 pounds of marijuana out of that house, and the two subjects involved were arrested, charged with felonies, and they went back to Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Not happy, which is fine with me. Hopefully they sell the house to someone that doesn't want to farm in it. We've been getting intel that heroin is creeping back into the area. When I worked for Buxton Police Department, we had a lot of problems with heroin, and that's starting to creep back in. It kind of got pushed aside for a while for synthetic opiates, oxycodone, but it's starting to come back a little bit. I think a lot of people heard about the methamphetamine lab that the sheriff's office broke up in Lebanon. I hated to hear about that. That's not good at all. Hopefully that's the last we hear about methamphetamine for a while. Oxycodone and other imitation opiate pills remain a big problem here, and can be purchased at more than one location in town. I'm not going to give the addresses, but I know where. They just won't sell to me for some reason. I don't know. But that's work in progress. Pharmacy robberies in southern Maine seem to take place on a weekly basis. So that just, there's a lot of people that have oxycodone as their habit. It's not good. We actually got a warning a while back that I believe MDEA took something like thousands upon thousands of illegal oxycodone pills. They seized a lot that were supposed to be sold here in southern Maine, and we basically got a warning that said, please inform your pharmacies of this, because there's going to be a lot of addicts out there that won't be able to get their medication. So we have had a couple pharmacy robberies, but it hasn't spiked like we thought it would. All right. Snowplow issues. I'm just going to read off what we put in the paper last week, just in case someone doesn't know. People are asking me, what's thinking right now, what do you mean snowplow issues? Well, every year I get complaints from the road commissioner, people that plow snow, about residences putting snow on the road. and I'll just read this. State of Maine Title 29A 2396-4 prohibits placing snow or slush on a public way and is punishable by a $165 fine, traffic ticket that I would give them. Please do not plow, shovel, or snow blow snow into the road. Doing so forces Waterboro's road crew to go back where they have already plowed to clean up someone's mess and wastes time and money. Because of consistent complaints each winter, I've asked the road commissioner to report individuals leaving snow in the road so appropriate action can be taken, i.e. giving them a ticket. Leaving snow trails in the road after having pushed snow across it with a plow is no exception. Thank you for your attention and consideration. What that means is when you go ahead and plow snow across the road, if you don't go back and clean up the trails that fall off the sides of the plow, those then freeze in the road, and one of us comes along and has to drive over those little ridges left in the road. I know that the road crews have tried to address this themselves, and they usually get a very unpleasant answer. You know, something along the lines of the resident pays taxes or something like that. So then I get called. So please don't put snow in the road. It's simple. Ice fishing, everyone be careful on the ice. It's thin. Compared to last year, it's very thin. We haven't had the cold weather we should, and it's only about 6 to 8 inches. So at this point, I would not drive a vehicle onto the ice. Someone told me there was a Jeep out there the other day, and that's not a good idea.
There was actually an ATV that went through Saturday evening,
lovely.
crossing from Blackburn's campground. At night, when it's dark, the water
Yep.
is not frozen where it's free flowing at the pipe, and
Yep.
apparently they didn't see that and ended up in the drink there, so.
Great. Okay, there you have it. No vehicles and ATVs, be careful. It's anything out there right now, be careful. And once it starts to warm up, if you have ice shacks out there, get those off the ice in March. I'm going to go back to statistics, this time York County Sheriff's Office personnel statistics. According to our IMC program, that's the computer program we use to basically do everything from reports to tracking everything. I was number 1 in 2011 with the amount of arrests. I had 99 arrests last year, and that was first place. Second and third places were Deputies Travis Jones and Tom Searway, respectively, with 82 and 79 arrests each. I was also number 1 in issuing traffic tickets. Now, I'm not bringing this up I'm not trying to blow wind in my sails or bragging or anything like that. I'm only saying this because there are people in town each year, it's about a dozen, I hope that's the small number, who question the need for this position. And some of them just flat out accuse me of being a do-nothing. And that's the only reason I brought that up. Waterboro is all pretty much on par with the town of Buxton as far as population and demographics. The difference is Buxton has a 10-person police department, and Waterboro has me and the zone guys that are covering 4 other towns when I'm not working. So a lot of the times when I'm not working and something happens out in my neighborhood, instead of calling it in, I hate calling things in because I know the guys are busy in Arundel or Lyman, and they're running all over the place responding to calls. So I end up putting on my sheriff's office ball cap and a coat and going out and dealing with it in my neighborhood. You know, if I got some fool racing around on an ATV with kids on it, or my neighbor's out there in the middle of the night screaming his head off, you know, because he didn't take his medication or something like that, I end up dealing with it even off duty. So the point is we're kind of behind when it comes to police coverage. Waterboro does not have adequate police coverage at this time. And I hope that gets rectified sometime in the next few years. And that's going to end my report there. Is there any questions?
Have you seen any incidents of the bath salts entering this area down here? Or?
Only one, and I know Deputy Fay had a OUI drug incident. That's operating under the influence, not alcohol, something else was going on there. And the female involved could not, she sounded like me right now, except worse, I've got a real bad cold. And she could not stop sniffing. Her nose was running so badly, she just couldn't stop. And obviously the inside of her nose had been eaten away by something. Now, cocaine will do that, but we suspected it was bath salts just by the way she was acting. So far, that's the only thing that, yeah, there's no bath salts. So far, that's the only incident that I know of. It's staying up in the Bangor area. I know Bangor is badly plagued. For some reason, it's bypassing us. So,
I appreciate that. Hopefully that trend will continue.
I know we're starting, in my community, we're starting to see the synthetic marijuana. So hopefully that's not gonna make its way.
It's called different things, the
Yeah.
spice or,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, we have seen that here. We've had some high school kids putting themselves up on YouTube, and it doesn't act like marijuana. They just drop on the ground and start rolling around, giggling and clawing at the air, and I don't know why you would want to do that. It doesn't seem fun to me. Stagger around and fall down. Isn't that what Demi Moore was doing?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enlightening as usual. Okay, we'll move on to new business, and before we get into those, the first one, I would entertain a motion at this time for discussion on the code enforcement officer resignation.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for discussion to add to the agenda under new business, a discussion regarding the code enforcement officer resignation. Is there any, what was that? Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. The chair will also accept a motion to discuss the filling of the code enforcement officer position.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for discussion on filling the code enforcement officer position. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. First item on the agenda tonight is, under new business, is to discuss the personnel policy revisions. What is the pleasure of the board?
Well, I think during our budget discussions, we recognized that we need to do some work on the personnel policy. I thought we were gonna see some recommendations, or kind of like some draft.
Yeah, I sent it to Pat, but I haven't heard back from her.
So if there's something out there that's in the works, I would motion that we table this until we have all that information from the town administrator.
And second. Okay. Motion's been made to table this discussion pending more information from the town administrator. It has been seconded. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing there's no discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is to discuss the resignation of the code enforcement officer. And what is the pleasure of the board?
I would make a motion that we accept the resignation of the code enforcement officer with regret. I know she's been here for a number of years. It's always a pleasure to do business with her, and it's unfortunate that she's moving on.
I think it's, I agree, she's knowledgeable.
May I have a second on this?
Yeah,
Second.
The second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to accept with regret the resignation of the code enforcement officer. Is there any discussion? Mr. Gale?
I'd just say that it's a tough job, and it's a job that most people, when you're dealing with most people, They're not saying, thank you for helping me. It's oftentimes as expletives because you are enforcing, and sometimes enforcing things that people don't want to hear. She's done that without being combative, without being confrontive, been straightforward, being knowledgeable, and I thought she's done a very good job, and we're going to miss her.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is the discussion of filling the vacancy that is created by the code enforcement officer resignation. What is the pleasure of the board?
I think Nancy gave David the ad to appear in the paper.
Temporarily, we have some coverage. And is this ready to go, or is it already gone?
Yeah, it's not, wouldn't you look at it first if you want to add anything to it? But yes, we have coverage.
And there was certainly suggestion on including qualifications that would be, especially on the plumbing side, as a qualification for the position. I know the state allows, a year to get certified and whatnot, but with regard to what's going on in the plumbing side, probably should include that. In fact, I would think that would be our preference as
It's certified on both.
we bring in on a certified CEO, CEO.
That, in the job description, not the job description, but in the posting for that position, it says LPI, is that licensed plumbing inspector?
Very good.
Just want to clarify it so that we have not had the opportunity, obviously, all of us to, review that, but I just read it and I haven't had any issues with it.
So this will be, this will go into, this will be advertised this next week?
If it's approved, we'll start advertising on MMA tomorrow and on the website and start sending them out.
Goes in a state level computer, yeah.
That's the job description we've had right along, right?
Yeah. Well, it's got the updates, what we did in it,
Yep.
so.
So I would make a motion that we approve the advertising of the position as what's been presented by the town administrator.
Second.
Motions are made and seconded to accept the announcement for the position as written by the town administrator. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is old business. First item there, and the only item is to discuss a special town meeting. What is the pleasure of the board?
I would, I'd like to make the motion that we set up special town meeting to be held on the 13th of March. Gives us a month.
That's not a Friday.
And, huh?
That's not a Friday, is it?
No, it's not on a Friday. 13th of March is the second Tuesday of the month of March. And that within the next week, we identify those articles other than the ones that we've been banting around, like, which is the attorney's recommendation for the language that allows us to spend the federal funds, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think the first thing is establish the date, and then we'll plug in what's got to be in a special town meeting.
Second.
So your motion is just for the date, or?
Yeah, let's set that as the date of the special town meeting.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to establish March 13th of 2012 as the date for a special town meeting. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. You have a secondary motion?
I guess I would just, I'm not sure a motion is warranted at this point, but I would, I guess, more than, that between the town administrator and department heads, or whatever the case may be, present or have ready for next Tuesday evening a list of articles that would be on that for our approval to move forward. I think we've discussed them all. I'm not sure we gotta hammer it out at this meeting, but we've got the issue of the over, the FEMA money that we need to use, the excess road money that we ended up using that for the mitigation project on Mass Camp Road
Mass Camp and Durago Drive.
and Durago Drive, so those would be added as articles, and the monies would be appropriated out of unappropriated surplus. It's either, I mean, that would be the vote of the people, either unappropriated surplus, or you leave it in this year's budget, and this year's budget gets reduced, or the work scope gets reduced because we had unexpected expenditures.
And we still have about, I have to look, probably $1,000 of the BERT money that we could appropriate too.
Right. So my suggestion is that between, Nancy present next week, the town administrator will present next week what items need to be on that special town meeting, as we have kind of
Do we see,
pondered earlier.
do we see putting the article that Attorney Cole came up with at the special town meeting and also again in the June town meeting?
I think that's
Yeah.
now got to be.
So this would be the introduction to the article in this town meeting to get us through the rest of the year, and then we'd do it again in June. Okay.
Christina, if you would indicate that as an agenda item, appreciate that. Any further discussion on that at all? Okay, the chair would entertain a motion to accept the warrant for bills and payroll.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the warrants for bills and payroll. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Chair will accept a motion to accept the minutes
So moved.
of January 31st, 2012.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of January 31st, 2012. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Our pending decisions. Public service announcements. This was it's still in the works, as is the reviewing the driveway opening permit language, and I guess there's a delay in that because one of the integral components is
On vacation.
on vacation, and is otherwise unavailable at this time. Board and committee status, we continue slowly to chip away at filling the vacant positions on a number of the boards and committees. And just to reiterate that on Thursday, February 9th, the board will be having a second public night, Selectmen's Public Night, and the items for the agenda on that evening will be the functions of the different boards and committees. A little brief explanation on that, and secondly, we'll have a discussion on what the town can do to, I guess, recognize the contributions made by persons that have been in the armed forces that have served their country, and that is being headed by Selectman Woodson. Would you care to comment any further on that particular aspect of it, or just?
No, we'll just discuss it
Okay.
Thursday night.
Prior to
Yes.
Thursday night, could we get a list of all the boards and committees and how many vacancies are on each? And along with that, who the selectman liaison for each one of those are, so we're prepared. We've got a list of everybody, we sure that we're touching all the committees, and each selectman knows who they're responsible for hitting up.
And additionally, any chair or member of any of those committees is certainly welcome, to participate in this and, provide us with their assistance if they so choose.
I'm wondering, as this is played, if you could have like like they have on snow days with school closings on the bottom of the screen, that you can have a finance committee, one position open, call so-and-so, and kind of scroll those at the bottom of the screen.
Mr. Technician over there, is that something we can have, like rolling credits on the bottom?
Sure. I don't see why not.
Your wishes are,
Yeah. I think it would have been good if, if I'm speaking about the veterans, at least give them a phone number or my email or something that they could contact. It would help.
okay. I'm sure our IT professional over there can facilitate that.
We have the technology,
We have the technology.
we have the talent.
You just don't have the money.
We just don't have the money. All right, so we'll see him over there with little cue cards every once in a while holding them up.
You'll be running in front of the camera.
Yeah. Okay, the Water District Survey.
I have mailed them in, I haven't received any others, so now we're just waiting for the Maine Rural Water District Association to compile the results.
Okay. So that's being actively moved forward at this point. It's just,
Do you want me to take it off?
no,
Oh,
no, because we're certainly going to want an answer back, so I guess we would leave it there. I just only mention that so that it isn't, so we let people know that it's just not hanging, that we are waiting for something legitimate to happen here. The Water District office space lease, is that still in the hands of the attorney?
No, it's been given to Water District.
Oh, it has, so that the ball's in their court, waiting for them to, okay, very good. The Eagle Scout project,
I really haven't heard anything. I don't know why I haven't heard anything, but I will check again.
Just on that, is that something that really should be on our to-do list? I mean, he's the one that's attempting to make Eagle Scout. We shouldn't be the ones chasing him about. He should be coming forward to us.
Yeah. It's his project.
It's his
and-
project, it's his
Yeah.
responsibility. And I think, David's made a number of attempts to contact him, and if he doesn't want to participate, then that's his choice, but I don't think it's something that should keep appearing on our agenda.
I agree, I'd say take it off.
Let me try one more
To-do
time.
list.
yeah. I think it's just a tickler at this point, even though it's not our project per se, it's his, but it does involve the town, and I think there's some, we've discussed it, a couple of times, I'd hate to just leave it hanging out there. If he doesn't want to do it, then maybe he gives us a no answer, that he's going to decide on another project, and then we, get rid of it. At least we can report that to the citizens that, that there's no more interest in it. But, I'll certainly, obviously bow to the wishes of the board. Yeah. So you're going to try one more time, and then we'll
Yeah.
dispense with it? Internet and electronic mail policy revisions. Do we know where that stands right now?
Me and Nancy need to get together.
I have to give you, I've got quite a few off the MMA website like that. I have to give them to you Saturday, I'll give them to you Thursday.
Okay, week's action list. Obviously, it's the internet and electronic mail policy will be on something. The preparations for the special town meeting, putting that package together for next week.
The personnel policy, is that something that's going to be next week or a
Probably a couple weeks.
couple of weeks?
Okay, well, I won't put it on this week's action list then. Those are fairly big items right there. Okay, discussion of agenda items. One is going to be the town meeting proposal.
I should have just an update on the public relations piece that we've been planning. I think we got the equipment in here now, and the plan is to start working on that Tuesday, so this is gonna probably take 2 or 3 filmings, but it's getting underway, and once we start off with the fire and rescue, we will have, David will have learned quite a bit on this, and then we can go on to other departments.
So how am I listing that as a heading?
That can be, I don't know, it's things to do,
Infomercial.
but.
Infomercial? Okay, good.
But I just want to let you know that we are moving on it.
Yeah, when he gets into the action phase, we can probably get Dave down at the Zumba thing doing. Okay. Is there any other agenda items that anyone can think of that they'd like to see discussed? Okay. Reminders. Wednesday, February 8th at 6 p.m., the Road Review Committee will be meeting in the Old Town Hall. On Thursday, February 9th at 6:30 p.m., the Old Home Days Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Thursday, February 9th at 7 p.m. will be the Selectmen's Public Night to discuss ideas for recognizing veterans and to discuss volunteering on town boards and committees. Thursday, February 9th at 7 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Saturday, February 11th at 8 a.m., the Selectmen's Budget Workshop will take place at the Town Hall from 8 to noon. On Saturday, February 11th at 8:30 a.m., there's a cribbage tournament at the Old Town Hall. On Monday, February 13th at 7 p.m., Parks and Recreation Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Tuesday, February 14th at 6 p.m., the Selectmen's meeting at Town Hall with reports from the Finance Committee and the Treasurer. On Wednesday, February 15th, 7 p.m., the Planning Board will meet at the Town Hall. On Monday, February 20th, at 6:30 p.m., the 12-town group will meet in the Town Hall. And on Monday, February 20th, at 7 p.m., the Charter Review Commission will meet in the Old Town Hall. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be meeting Thursday night for a Selectmen's Budget Workshop here at the Town Hall from 5 to 7. It'll just precede our Selectmen's Night. And on that night, we should have representatives from the Transfer Station and Parks and Recreation will be here, so we'll discuss those budgets. Is there any other business before we accept a motion to adjourn? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Good night, everyone.